protect your skin from the sun's damaging UV rays, and it can reduce glare from the sun from headlights. We also offer paint protection film, which will keep your vehicle looking new for a longer period of time and protect against chips from stones and things like that. We also have CarPlay and Android Auto, the greatest way to safely integrate your smartphone into your vehicle. So call us, 410-857-5300, or look us up on the web at westminsterspeed.com.
Last night's pick 3 number is 521 to pick 40184. I'm Frank Luber, 680 WCBM News.
This is Baltimore's #1 news talk station, the 50,000-watt information blowtorch. Talk Radio 680 WCBM and worldwide at WCBM.com.
The WCBM studios are sponsored by Safe Retirement Solutions. Call Rod Baroli, 410-266-1120. SafeRetirementSolutions.com.
John and Frank are brought to you by Perry Hall Heating and Air Conditioning, serving the Baltimore metropolitan area since 1982. Call 410-256-7285.
Hour number 4, we're Sean and Frank, Maryland's wake-up call, Talk Radio 680 WCBM. Coming up in this hour, Baltimore City educators take Black Lives Matter message into the schools. Governor Hogan says no blank check for Amazon headquarters, and we'll take a look at a bill that it may send your electric bill skyrocketing. Once again, the loony left here in the state is out to separate you from your hard-earned tax dollars. And 30 minutes from now, Jeff Hulbert, he's one of the twins that was arrested Monday in Annapolis for exercising his First Amendment rights in support of the Second Amendment. He's with the group Patriot Ticket. He will join us and tell us his story. It's an incredible story. He's hanging out in studio, and I've been talking with him here during the break. But now we find out, remember all this time, every once in a while we hear these people that come into schools with, they have a message on their hat or in their T-shirts, of course in support of the rebel flag or whatever, and they're asked to turn it inside out, or if there's something there that supports Christianity or something that makes people feel offended, they're told to go home and change their shirts in school. Again, turn it inside out. And we've done those stories before, but now we're being told, there's an article in the Baltimore Democrat Party newsletter this morning, that, again, their educators in Baltimore City are going to start delivering the message. This week is the Black Lives Matter Week of Action in Schools. It kicked off this week with a call to include additional black history and ethnic studies in the district's curriculum, which I'm okay with that, but I'm not okay with the group that has chanted, fry 'em like bacon pigs in a blanket. What do we want? Dead cops. What do we want them now? And again, we have these teachers, alleged instructors, that are now going to try to bring this message into our school system with these young students, Frank. And I think, once again, we've seen this kind of manipulation of children's minds, and the social justice curriculum it has now gone over the top with the inclusion of a group that does have ties to violence, not just not in schools, but outside of schools.
You know, that's just what we need. Something else introduced into our schools other than the classic education that these kids in Baltimore City needs. Baltimore City right now has got the worst performing school system in the entire state. And no matter how much money we keep on pouring into Baltimore City, it doesn't get any better. And now they want something like this.
Yeah, and here they're saying our students are being bombarded with negative images of black people and black lives, said Christina Duncan Evans. We need to create spaces within schools that affirm our students' identity. And hitching your wagon to Black Lives Matter. Many have committed radical acts and said some things that have just been absolutely disgusting in the public discourse, especially when it comes to law enforcement. I understand there are issues with some in the community with law enforcement officers, but to then bring this kind of message into the schools, I think that somebody's going to have some second thoughts about that, because I don't think it's going to end well. So you can react to that if you want. By the way, John in Baltimore texting into the show this morning about the Macy's hijab story. He says, imagine how it'll be when a transgendered homosexual male purchases his or her jihad attire for women at Macy's. Only in America. The office of Governor Hogan said Wednesday they're backing away from comments made by the transportation chief the state has promised Amazon.com a blank check for transportation improvements to lower the company's HQ2 to the People's Republic of Montgomery County. Doug Mayer says, obviously, Secretary Ron misspoke. The transportation portion of the Amazon intended package will include targeted investments in both transit and roads that will be financed over at least 10 years. It will be funded fully and appropriately, and the governor's spokesman saying that they are not offering a blank check to Amazon. Yeah, I didn't think that was going to go over too well. And the latest lunacy from the left, they're at it again. Josh Kurtz reporting in the last couple days. Ellen Sauerbrey sent me this email last night saying that they're now introducing a bill in the state of Maryland that would push for new regulations that would require half of Maryland's power to come from renewable sources by 2030. They assumed it would be a 2 or 3 year campaign, but now more than half of members of the House of Delegates and the state Senate have committed to co-sponsoring the legislation in this session, and they're now beginning to rethink their strategy. So what that would do, that would basically cause electric bills for us here in Maryland and businesses to skyrocket. If you're going to require that all of this renewable sources by 2030, they'll then eventually want a state subsidy to fund to help poor pay their electric bills, because they're obviously going to be priced out of that equation. And you wonder why businesses are now skipping over the state of Maryland. You wonder why maybe Baltimore City didn't get Apple and so on and so forth. You know, when you're mandating windmills and solar farms and covering up the landscape in order to meet the power needs of the state, this is why people bypass the state of Maryland.
Well, first of all, I don't think that the renewable energy entities that we're talking about, windmills, solar panels, solar panel farms that you see along Route 4 and other places on the Eastern Shore, I don't think that they will be even in the position to meet the demand for power to begin with. I mean, how they can't even keep up with it right now. That they come nowhere close to it, and obviously it's going to cost a whole lot more money for wind power and solar power than it does for the current energy, the current ingredients that we're using now for energy.
And you know what this is in a nutshell, this bill? Because people's eyes glaze over when you start talking about climate change and energy. Basically, the Democrats in the state of Maryland want 50% of Maryland's energy to come from non-existent renewable resources. We don't have it right now, but 50% by the year 2030. But they want 50% of it now to come from renewable resources, and we don't have it. Period.
Yeah, they couldn't keep up with the demand.
It's 8:14, time for WCBM traffic and weather first. Here's a man that's very familiar with the concept of wind power, Chuck Whitaker. Keeping an eye on Friday morning rush hour. Chuck?
Yes. I have enough wind to make it to 9 o'clock. Thank you very much. Brought to you as a service of the Baltimore Boating Center there on beautiful Sioux Creek, right off the Middle River. The accident's still there, Interloop after Green Spring, and now only the left-hand lane is blocked, but that's enough to give us a backup. Look back at the camera at 795, and that's where the backup starts on the Beltway if you're coming up from Liberty Road. Solid from there all the way over to Green Spring. The ramp from 795 to the Interloop is also backed up and basically just kind of sitting still right through there. If you're in Pikesville right now, Old Court Road, Green Spring Valley Road might not be a bad idea to get around that. The outer loop has all the lanes open, but they're still looking at it, and you will delay from the JFX over to Green Spring with that backup once you get beyond the Rexler Clear into Pikesville. A couple of big accidents, Hartford Road, Mount Vista Road, Charles Street near Shepherd Pratt. That vehicle hit a tree, and there is a rescue underway there. Earlier, we had an accident southbound Route 29 at Route 100. The Baltimore Boating Center is a full-service marina with a stock marine store, complete mobile services, and winter storage. If it's time to trade up, sell your boat, we have 4 full-time brokers in-house. Stop by the website, get the information, BaltimoreBoatingCenter.com. I'm Chuck Whitaker with traffic and weather first on Talk Radio 680 WCBM.
Your Weather Channel forecast cloudy today, high of 42 degrees. The current temperature, Frank?
Right now in downtown Baltimore at the Inner Harbor, it's 29 degrees. In Frederick, 26 degrees. Coming up on the news at 8:30, White House wants to change pay for federal workers.
Coming up in 20 minutes, Patriot picket. They were arrested Monday night in Annapolis. One of those arrested, Jeff Holbert's going to join us in